Professor New Vegas here, and today I'm going to show you how to install Mod Organizer 2. As always, the link will be in the description. Consider this part 0 of the Tale of Two Wastelands version 3.3 install because you need Mod Organizer 2. So, in that video, I will refer you to this video. Anyway, you go to the Nexus page, and you'll go to Files, and then you'll click Manual Download on Mod Organizer 2. Do not download Mod Organizer 1, that is legacy, that is not what I'm referring to. Once you have Mod Organizer 2 downloaded, you can take your browser and you can crunch it up and throw it away. And then open up your file browser and then go to Downloads, and then you'll see Mod Organizer 2 and then the version information. Note that exe corresponds to an executable. If you go to View here, you can click File, Name Extensions, and then you can see that. That's how you see .exe. So, double click this, and it'll probably prompt me if I want to install. Hit yes, and then accept the agreement. Never read the agreement, such a bad idea. And then it'll ask you for a destination location for it. So in this case, it's saying C modding MO2, and from this browse button, you can choose where you want it to install. So in this case, modding MO2 is a directory I made earlier, and it just so happens to correspond to what Mod Organizer 2 prefers. So we'll go with this, C modding MO2. It's a good practice not to install this into program files or program files x86 if you're on Windows, because, well, Bill Gates will be upset at you, and sometimes you can have user account control issues. If you're installing this on Linux, then it would be different. I believe it would be under the home folder. So you can minimize that and hit next. And then these are the recommended components or additions, whatever you can add to it. In this case, I'll just accept everything. So I'm going to click next. And then it'll say to continue, click next. This is a start menu folder. Sure, hit next. And then we want a shortcut for this thing. So next. This is just an overview of what we're doing. So we will confirm this. Now it's preparing to install. This will take a few seconds, and once this progress bar is done, we'll probably get a prompt saying finish. Yep, finish. Looks like the Disney Channel. I dislike the Disney Channel. Now this is attempting to load. There we go. Create a new instance. So basically, an instance is a game install or a folder for a game install. So in this case, since we're going to get Tale of Two Wastelands prepped, we're going to click next, and then we're going to do create a global instance. So I'll do global instance, and then it says select the game. So we can do Fallout 3, we can do Fallout New Vegas, we can do Tale of Two Wastelands, we can do Skyrim, Skyrim Special Edition, Oblivion, Morrowind, Jerry Seinfeld Extreme Burger King Burger Whopper Racer Ultimate Edition version 5.0. Any of those are available. So in this case, I have 3 and New Vegas installed locally, and I'm going to make a Tale of Two Wastelands install, so I will select TTW. Customize the name, I'll just go with TTW. And then it'll ask the folder where this data should be stored. So, C, users, username, app data, local, mod organizer, TTW. This includes downloads, mods, profiles, and overwrites your TTW instance. If there's enough space, select your default. So, in this place, this is where you would select this instance of it to be installed. So, in my case, I want to have a different file path, just so I can demonstrate what that would look like. So, go to your drive that you're having it installed on, in this case the C drive, and then you're going to go to wherever it is that you wanted to put it. So modding, this is MO2, so Mod Organizer 2 is in here, and so now I'd say let's make a new folder under modding, and let's call it this, TTW_MO2. So this will correspond to Tale of Two Wastelands Mod Organizer 2. That way, if you want to reference this, you don't have to dig through app data local roaming and all that garbage because it's kind of annoying. So in this case, I will select a new location. So the C drive, modding. So let's go back one step. TTWMO2. That's the folder we just made. Select. Awesome. Next. create a new instance, link mod organizer with Nexus account. If you have a Nexus mods account, you click connect to Nexus. If you have an API key for it, you can enter that in. So because I have my Nexus account signed in on my browser, I'll click this and I'll just hide it so you all can't steal my account. Connect. And then it'll say mod organizer would like to connect to your account. So it'll look like this. Mod Organizer 2 would like to access your Nexus Mods account. If you are happy with this, click the Authorize button below. So you will click Authorize if you want it to be authorized. And then it says, hooray. So now it says, linked with Nexus successfully. Press Next. And then this is just an overview. So instance type global, we're installing it there. It's called TTW. It's under our folder called TTW_MO2. It is for the game Tale of Two Wastelands, and the game location is stored under Fallout New Vegas because TTW is a massive mod for New Vegas. So click Finish. It says if you're starting Mod Organizer for the first time, do you want a tutorial? I've used this a lot, so I don't want that tutorial. Mod Organizer is not set up to handle NXM links associated. This refers to links from Nexus mods, so I want to click yes. Now, maximize it. There we go. And you can see this is Fallout New Vegas. If you're very new to modding, or if you're new to Tale of Two Wastelands, you might be curious why you see Fallout New Vegas here if this is for Tale of Two Wastelands. That's because Tale of Two Wastelands crunches up Fallout 3 and then jams into New Vegas as a delicious dinner meal. So, in this case, you can check your plugins, your archives, your data files, your saves, and your downloads. Unfortunately, my saves don't include, the greatest character ever, Zuck. So, I'm very sad about that. Steam Cloud Saves failed me. So, if you just want to install Mod Organizer 2, you've installed it. Now, let's configure a profile. So you see here, it says Profile Default, Manage. We can make multiple profiles. So let's just click on here, and then let's click Copy. Copy. Please enter a name for the new profile. So if you go by the instructions on the Tale of Two Wastelands page, they'll call it Testing. So let's call it Testicles. Hit OK. And then under this new profile, we have use profile specific save games, use profile specific game INI files, make sure this is checked, and let's also have automatic archive invalidation enabled. So we want both of those flagged for true, and then we're going to click select. INI file is read only, so in this case, clear the read only flag. Depending on the mods you're working with, you may want to re-enable that flag. You right-click the file, go to Properties, and set Read Only. So now, we are under our super cool profile. And if you go to View, if you go to Files, you can do some pretty cool things. So in this case, let's just click on this for settings. You can change the theme. So if you want a different theme, you can select this and hit OK. And now your view damages your eyes just a little bit less. So right now we have our profile set up right there. You can select the default one if you want to. This is your current one that you've made. And let's check the paths. So right now, everything will be under that folder we specified. C, modding, Tale of Two Wastelands Mod Organizer 2. And now, when you see this %base directory %, that is referring to this. This is your base directory. So picture this base directory % is just whatever this is. This is just to make it shorter so it's easier to look at. So we just confirmed that our file path is good. We have a nice theme. Our Nexus account is attached to this. And everything is splendid. Now we are ready for the delicious splendor of Tale of Two Wastelands, or whatever mods you would want to put into your game. So, as a quick note, if you have several things going on, you can click this drop down here, and if you click Edit, you can add some more of them, like FNV Edit. once you install NVSE and the 4 GB, 4 gigabyte patcher, you can have the option of Tale of Two Wastelands, NVSE loader, and various other things. But if you have the 4 gigabyte patcher and NVSE, launch off of Tale of Two Wastelands directly. This is the launcher, this is the game executable. So now, if we're going to follow the instructions from the Tale of Two Wastelands webpage, see here. First of all, make sure you have Mod Organizer 2, configure Mod Organizer 2, configure these settings, then make sure you create your profile, and now you want to edit your INI. So in this case, we would have to have our INIs generated. The way you do that is you run Fallout New Vegas. So if you go to Steam and you click Fallout New Vegas and you get to the main menu, you will generate your INI files, which are used for configuration. In Mod Organizer 2, you can actually view those and you can see lots of cool things. So if we go to this little folder here, there's the game folder, the My Games folder, the INIs folder, and a bunch of other things. So if let's open the INIs, you see here, these are our INIs. Part of how Mod Organizer 2 works is it has a virtual install. As a result, if you somehow mess up something in your modding endeavor, you're not necessarily destroying your game files directly. This is like a virtual link to it. So this is excellent for modding, especially if you're new to it and you somehow destroy it, because I did that a lot and it was hilarious. So these are your INIs. Fallout Custom INI, Fallout Prefs, Fallout INI. There should be default INI somewhere in here. So, stuff of that nature. And in this case, Fallout Custom INI, or INI, we're going to select this and edit with Notepad++. I highly recommend you have Notepad++. It's free, it's wonderful software, and it's compatible with every file type known to man. I've used it for Python, I've used it for C, I've used it for C++, and I use it every single day for VHDL, for programming FPGAs. It is fantastic. So, in this case, we're going to tweak it. So, if you follow the TTW instructions, if you go here, it says tweaking the Fallout Custom INI. In this step, we will configure the game's INI to increase performance. We will take advantage of JIP, L, and NVSE's Fallout Custom INI feature to make our changes. So, in order to do this, you need JIP, L, and NVSE, and several other things. We don't have those installed yet, but once we install Tale of Two Wastelands, we can do that. So, you can install Tale of Two Wastelands and then refer back to this step, and then once you have Tale of Two Wastelands, you would then make these INI tweaks that are specific to Tale of Two Wastelands with this configuration. So, what you would do is you make sure Tale of Two Wastelands profile is active. In this case, well, we gave it a super cool name. And then you're going to click the picture of a puzzle piece that is slowly eroding with the bloodstained decay, and select the INI editor, follow Custom INI, make sure it's follow Custom INI and not Custom INI, and then you would highlight all of this, and you would paste this into your file. So, I will refer to this after I have Tale of Two Wastelands installed, and that'll be a continuation to this. So, I hope this helped, and if you have any questions or concerns in the comments, let me know. I usually get lots of interesting errors, and it's usually the exact same 3 errors about MCRD, DLL, or something of that nature. I know there's a 120 in there somewhere, and lots of other issues. If you have stuff like that, I recommend that you install Microsoft Visual C++ 2020, that's not a word, 2010, as well as VC Redist for x86 and x64 for 2013, and then 2015 through 2022. And those will be linked in the beginning of the Tale of Two Wastelands tutorial, which will take place after this tutorial. So, now that that's out of the way, let me skip ahead a little bit and just click Edit INI, INI Editor, and we're going to go to Fallout Custom INI. So, this change I am going to make will only work properly once I have NVSE and GIPLN, which is GIPLitana. Once I have those installed, then this tweak will work properly. Until I have those, don't necessarily do this until you have the dependent files. So, I copied that stuff earlier, and I am pasting it into here. Now that it is pasted, I'm going to click Save. Okay, and one thing to note is always check the guide. So, yep, follow custom INI, we pasted the following, and then repeat the INI changes on the testing profile. So what that is referring to is, right now, you see that we're editing profile-specific INIs. Right now, we just edited the Fallout custom INI for our profile here. So, you can click that a couple times to make sure it is saved. And you can verify that by clicking here, opening INIs folder, and then going to Fallout custom INI, and then edit with Notepad. And you can see we have these entries inside of it. Don't see my super cool VHDL. And yeah, that's about it. You can see that our INI is edited, and what they're referring to is you click the drop down, you go to the default profile, and then you're going to do the same thing. So INI editor, Fallout custom ini, paste, save, and this way if you're on either profile, so if you accidentally go to the other profile, you'll make sure that you have those tweaks in place, and that's about it. So with this done, your Tale of Two Wastelands or whatever instance you're installing for Mod Organizer 2 should be great. And if you refer to the guide here, here's some little mod installation advice. If you're on Nexus, you can click Mod Manager Download. This will route through Mod Organizer 2. If you click Manual Download, then you can manually install a mod. So if you click here, which looks like a little drive, if you select this, you can install a mod. So there you go. And by the way, if you download from Nexus, you would go to the Downloads tab. It would show up here. You right-click on it and click Install. You follow the wizard if there is one, and then you can see if it shows up under Plugins or Data. I hope this was a good tutorial that pretty much covers everything I can think of for Mod Organizer 2. It's a little bit longer than I'm sure the other tutorials out there are for Mod Organizer 2, and the reason for that is because I want to cover everything. So, again, this is part 0. The tutorial after this will be for Tale of Two Wastelands, where we install Tale of Two Wastelands, NVSE, the 4GB patcher, and all the recommended mods. That way our game is running great, and it will refer to Mod Organizer 2. And it will be relying off this instance, this TTW instance that we just made here. And when you're done, you can close this. When you want to run your game, click Run from here. Make sure you've selected the correct executable, Tale of Two Wastelands, Run. And from that, you can close it, and you can save this, or you can have this on your desktop, or you can eat it, or you can do whatever you want. So, that's about it. Hopefully this helps. And if you're still stuck in the comments and whatever correspondence I provide somehow doesn't help, I do have a Discord, or if you just want to see Todd Howard himself, Todd Howard hangs out with us. It's great. It's totally not a bot. It's Todd Howard. I'm not lying. So yeah, we have Todd Howard.